the blue cards found in the seat back pockets of your chairs, and put the card in the box on the greeters table. Please go ahead and take a minute to greet your neighbors.
Okay, great.
Okay. The chalice will be lit today by Will. Wherever Will is, there's Will. Yep. Very quickly. Right. That's the matches, yep. Please join me in reading the words provided for you as we light the chalice. We light this chalice for the earth, of which we all are a part. We pledge to care for what it needs and hold it in our heart. Now is the time for sharing of joys and concerns. Megan, please stop recording the service at this time. Now it's time for our first musical selection, Blue Boat Home, which is number 1063 in the Teal hymnal. Oh, 1064. Okay, 1064 in the blue hymnal.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry-land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor apart have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge and wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in the beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my boat home.
Today's opening words come from Braiding Sweetgrass by Rama. After all these generations since Columbus, some of the wisest of native elders puzzle over the people who came to our shores. They look at the toll in the land and say, the problem with these new people is that they don't have both feet on the shore. One is still on the boat. They don't seem to know if they're staying or not. This same observation is heard from some contemporary scholars who see in the social pathologies and relentless culture the fruit of homelessness, a rootless past. America has been called the home of second chances. For the sake of the peoples and the land, the urgent work of the second man may be to set aside the ways of the colonist and become indigenous to place. But can Americans, as a nation of immigrants, we were staying with both feet on the shore? What happens when we truly become to a place, when we finally make a home? Where are the stories that lead the way? Now we will have a reflection by Dr. Nathan Hensley from BGSU.
All right, well, I just want to start off by saying thank you to Kevin for inviting me to come and share this reflection. And thank you to the congregation for having me today as well. So just a little bit about myself. I've been traveling quite a bit in my adult life. I've lived in over 14 different states. And you know, sometimes there's a state of joy, and sometimes it might be a state of insanity. No, just kidding about that. But so I've lived and traveled in many different places, and this traveling has been something that has really ignited interest for me in understanding the importance of a sense of place, and then also trying to figure out what we can do to help cultivate place and connectedness and becoming more indigenous and re-inhabiting our landscapes. So today, the theme is right here: place, connections, and experience. And what we're gonna do today, kind of go through these different elements. I'm gonna talk a little bit about, do a little bit of a story, and then I'll talk a bit about definitions related to sense of place. Then a short activity, but don't worry, you don't have to do a lot for it, but it will be a little bit interactive. And then I'll get into to think about place and then move into sort of applications and examples. So without further ado, let's get started. I wanted to say a few things. I have been working in higher education for a little while now, and when I was studying for my doctorate degree, I was at Georgia Southern University, and it was really exciting because I was able to teach local people their own landscape. And the longleaf pine ecosystem is one of the key ecosystems of the southeast of the US. What's really cool too is it's so diverse, and it used to cover over 90 million acres of the south part of the US. And it's endemic, meaning that you can't find it anywhere else in the world. It was really interesting. I was able to work with from Kent all the way up to retirement age, And I remember this particular group of fourth graders that came through. There's this one particular student, when we were at this particular remnant of the longleaf pine ecosystem in the botanical garden, which was only a few acres, but it was pretty impactful. So I brought this group of fourth graders through, and one of the fourth graders I remember looked all around and he kind of gasped. He said, "Whoa, this is better than a video game." So when he said that, a few things solidified for me. First of all, that I was on the right path to kind of help teach people about place and reconnecting to our environment. Another thing that solidified for me there too is that maybe he wasn't playing the right video game system after all. I don't know. That's arguable, right? We'll see. And then the third piece, which also connects to what Kevin brought up in the quote that he was sharing in his words, is that the idea of being able to re-inhabit place is so important, because a lot of times people don't even know what's in their own backyard, right? The story of their own place. And being able to help educate in that way is really key when we think about how we are able to be much more of a mutually beneficial have a mutually beneficial relationship between humans and the natural world. So that's one piece that I wanted to focus on in today's talk, is just really briefly, how do we fully thrive in and with the planet while learning to develop a mutually beneficial human-earth relationship? And how can we help people to realize that maybe it is better than a video game as well? A quick definition, and this is sort of an aspirational definition, thinking about where it could really take people, especially when we think about education and how to educate focus place. So it's a deeply integrated and experiential relationship with one's surrounding ecological and social community, cultivating a sense of meaning, belonging, and identity. So when we think about meaning, it has a lot to do with that purpose, so that sense of purpose there. And then belonging to do with the community that you can cultivate and nourish over time, the sense of community. And then identity, of course, ties into that sense of self, understanding how we are able to contribute to our surroundings, and also what it is that we are perhaps called to do in our life and adventure. Okay, so here's the sort of component for today. It's a place-based exercise. I just got a few pieces here. And what I would like to start off with, and it's challenge by choice, so if you want to contribute or participate, you can, otherwise you don't have to. So from where you're sitting, or if you're standing, maybe those folks on Zoom, if you would, point, oh yeah, go ahead and close your eyes first. Oh yeah, close your eyes. All right, now point north. If you can figure out which way north is. Okay, now keep pointing that way, and then look around, open your eyes, and see where everyone's pointing. All right, I think pretty much everyone got it. It's helpful that we have the road here, right? Yes. Okay, so that's good. You guys all get an A, right, on that one. Yes, nice work. And so that's one of the questions when we think about sense of place from a geographical standpoint, physical place, what the cardinal directions, or perhaps the falcon directions if you're a Bowling Green person, right? But no, if you know the directions, you're able to then understand more about your surroundings. You can know where the sun rises, the sun sets, and other geographical pieces that can be really important. Okay, the question is, kind of opening to the group here, do you know when the last full moon was? That's right, last night, yes. It was a pink moon. Very good. I love that enthusiastic response there. Yes. And related to that, so tonight was the full moon. How many people saw that? It was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of a misnomer, the name. It has more to do with the flowers are the first ones that typically emerge in the north part of them. So it's a little bit misleading, because I saw on social media people were putting pink moons, but it's not really pink, literally speaking. Side note, another thing, did you hear about the astronaut that tried to land on the moon? He wasn't able to. Because it was full. Oh, get it? Yeah, so no vacancy, basically, no vacancy. Or do you know how the astronaut cut his hair on the moon? Eclipse it. Yes. All right, I've got a few more, but maybe at the end of the survey to that. Okay. The reason why I bring that up, though, the importance of knowing the moon cycles is very helpful, especially from an agricultural standpoint, and then additional ecological and indigenous knowledge-wise, to know some of these cycles and connect to the natural world without using your watch or your phone can be really important. Okay, now, actually, before I talk about that, do you know what this sound is here? Very close. It's not either Bufo americanus, so that's why that slide there. And what's neat about the American toad is that it's an indicator species, and Dr. Kevin McCluney can tell you a lot more about that. But what's interesting, it can tell you about the health of a wetland, and so if you have more frequent and intense callings from species such as the American toad, which is native to this place, then a totally good place than one. Okay, yeah, sorry. And I did see a sign down the road that said it was a frog only, violators will be towed. So, okay, now really quickly, what watershed are we in right now? Does anybody know? What watershed? It's an area of land that drains into a common body of water. Yeah, we're part of the Western Lake Erie Basin, absolutely. And then even there's another waterway that flows even a little bit more closely to us. Yes. So we are in the Maumee River watershed. I looked it up to make sure that that's true for here, because at campus we're more in the Portage River watershed. So that's also it. But the point, though, is it's very helpful to know what watershed you're in, because then you're able to recognize sort of the impact that you are having as an individual in your bioregion, and also recognizing what's happening downstream from where you are. So piece. And then also natural history of the area. Does anybody know, really briefly, what this place used to be pre-settlement where we are? That's right, the Great Black Swamp. And that's why I have that image there. And it's important there to know a little bit about the story of your place. So, by learning about your place, the story, and the history, then you're able to be much more of a meaningful contributor to your day-to-day participation in your particular bioregion or life place. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little academic for a little bit and just share 3 parts of, I'm using place as an acronym, but only focusing on 3 of the letters right now. So the A, C, and the E. And when we think about place, this is a little bit of a framework to think about how can we sort of cultivate place in our day-to-day practices, and then also in an educational sort of context. So the first letter that I'm going to focus on here is A, for attachments. So this has to do with the emotional bonds people form with specific locations. We think about place attachment, it actually emerges from the emotional bonds that people form with these specific locations, and they form through experiences, connections, and the stories from a given place. Wendell Berry says, what I stand for is what I stand on. And I love Wendell Berry's work. I know that Dr. McCluney does as well. So it's really great to think about what he writes. He's a poet, he's a philosopher, and a farmer that has been living for several decades in Kentucky on his farm plot. So attachments, that's one thing. And thinking about those relationships that exist within place. Now we think about connections. So place is deeply relational, obviously, and so when we think about ways to connect and to facilitate that sense of community with the natural world and with others, it's important to recognize that when we look at ways to foster this, these new interactions and creative approaches to environmental issues can emerge when we understand the fundamental elements of the relationships that exist. And what I have, a quick quote related to that, comes from Barry Lopez. All right, actually, I'm going to go quickly to that one, and then I'll come back. So Barry Lopez says this, that one learns a landscape not by knowing the name or identity of everything in it, but by perceiving the relationships in it, like that between the sparrow and the twig. So I really like Barry Lopez's work, and this particular quote stood out to me when I think about connections and the PLACE acronym, because instead of just focusing on the names and fragmented components of the natural world in our place and looking at it sort of as a mechanized place to interact with, when we can view it more so as a community of subjects instead of just a collection of objects, and that's kind of wording that comes from what's his name, Thomas Berry. And Thomas Berry, he's a different author, and he's not related to Wendell Berry, but Thomas Berry, he calls himself a geologian, and he says we really need to think about how can we convert our perspective instead of looking at the natural world as just a mere collection of objects to a community of subjects. And what's really key there is that when we see these relationships and how they are fundamentally I would say central to a healthy sense of place, then we're much more able to practice that. Okay, so experiences, the final part of the acronym here. So thinking about the embodied dimensions of sense of place. And what's really key here is that the embodied interconnections, how we know, feel, and belong, are something that we can really be more aware of and be more intentional about when we interact with one another in our place and with the natural community. So this element is also something that I've been studying for quite a while because I studied experiential education in my master's program, and that's where I met my wife, who's up here. So yeah, and it was really great. Sorry. So I guess what I wanted to mention there is that the idea of experience as opposed to only reading about or getting secondhand understanding about a place is really fundamental to cultivating that. And I believe it was John Dewey who wrote that you can get more from an ounce of experience than a ton of theory. So I paraphrase that a little bit, but I feel like that's really key to thinking about immersion in place. Okay, so my family didn't even know I had this slide, so these are some of the experiences we've had at a local place and putting this into practice. This is the Bell Woods that's in Pemberville, that's behind the Black Swamp Conservancy headquarters across from Eastwood High School. And we go every year, almost every year. There's a couple years we've missed, and this is showing a few different years. There's a wildflower hike that the Black Swamp Conservancy puts on. And in fact, they are doing it on May 3rd. You can sign up online if there's space. There's limited spaces. But what I wanted to emphasize here is that this has been a great way for my family and myself to connect to place. And we love this hike. It's about 3 miles, or at least I do. I love the hike. They're not huge fans. My daughter's shaking her head. Oh boy, yeah. Hopefully, one day. Hopefully it's better than a video game though, right? That's part of it. And on this hike, it's great because there's all these wildflowers that are out, and then we're with a leader that knows a bit about the surrounding environment, so they're able to practice the A, C, and the E that we're talking about to facilitate those attachments, the connections, and the experiences. And then what's also cool is in the central image there, kind of towards the left, I don't know if there's a laser on here. Is there? Okay, how do I find that? Oh, that one. All right, there. Yes. Yeah, so those clumps in the tree, I don't know if anybody might know what that might be, but it's a great blue heron rookery. Oh, so great. Yeah, so, and every year that we've gone, we're able to see this amazing rookery, which is where great blue herons nest. And so the baby great blue herons are there. And it's amazing, actually, at the culminating point of the hike when you get basically at the midway point, and then we hike back. And this is amazing, and this is the family here, my family looking up. So it looks like they're looking up at that. And Again, we try to branch out in our experiences and not only focus on video games. And this is one way to be able to do that through this kind of hike. And this is my youngest daughter, who's now 11, and this was several years ago, so that was kind of cool. And so it's neat to think about all the different years that we've been able to go here and how it's been very much of an immersive learning experience. And it's been able to help us learn a little bit more about the Great Black Swamp. And even though it's a remnant, it is also something that is very important to be able to go out and experience directly. And the other thing with that too is that when we've been able to do this over the years, it's been very helpful for me to think more about what this place used to look like and to visualize ways that we could perhaps restore some of these wetlands, which is also an exciting thing, and that Kevin McCluney is part of with different initiatives at this time, in terms of especially filtering some of the stormwater before it gets in the Western Lake Erie Basin to help prevent issues such as harmful algal blooms. Okay. So kind of moving forward here, this idea of re-inhabiting place is really a fundamental part of my interest, both personally and professionally. And it's something that I kind of want to wrap up with today, is thinking about how do we encourage a re-inhabitation of our place. And David Orr, who lives in Oberlin, Ohio, says that good inhabitants is an art requiring detailed knowledge of a place, the capacity for observation, and a sense of care and rootedness. And what I find most compelling about this is this idea of being able to get that detailed knowledge by being very careful with your observation, being able to focus on what is around you, not only the names, but also those interconnections that exist. And by doing so, hopefully being able to feel much more of a sense of purpose in your life journey. So that's a big part of that. Okay, so in terms of potential practices on how to reconnect to place, I put just a few. There's a lot more that we could put up here, and if we even had a discussion, there'd be a lot more. But a few key pieces I was thinking about is thinking about silence and solitude in place. This could be in your own backyard. It could even be if you're looking out your window, so ways to connect to place. And so there is this idea of a sit spot practice where you can find a place in nature and sit there regularly and do observation. You could also do nature journaling, so thinking about ways to capture your surroundings through observation. And you don't have to be an amazing artist for this, which is really important. But if you're able to practice that over time, it's a great way to feel much more grounded and rooted. Also, citizen science is another way to participate in practicing a sense of place and contributing to data, to national databases. One example I put up here is one that you can get on your smartphone. It's called iNaturalist, and it's a great way to sort of capture photos, especially if you don't know what you're looking at. So it could be a flower or a bug or an animal. And what's neat too is you can participate by helping other folks identify what they've taken a picture of. The app itself will also do basically an automatic identification, and it will let you know how certain it is that particular species. So that's just another way. And then also volunteering. So thinking about civic engagement and getting really grounded and serving whatever purpose and calling you may have in your particular place. And so it could be working with organizations like the Black Swamp Conservancy, or with perhaps the Wood County Parks, or getting involved in a way that's meaningful for you and your community. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of wrap up here, and what I wanted to do is leave us with a quote from Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it's this one. For all of us, becoming indigenous, so I love that Kevin brought that up. Indigenous to a place means living as if your children's future mattered, and hopefully that they like place better than video games. Sorry, side note. Okay, to take care of the land as if our lives, both material and spiritual, depended on it. So this is a quote from Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I think that it kind of synthesizes all of this very well. And again, I really appreciate that you had me today. And this is just the references that I used in the presentation. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nathan. That was awesome. And just a side note, Robin Wall Kilmer will be here at BGSU a year from now, roughly. I think March or April of next year. So keep it in mind. Check it out. Okay, so let's see here. Where am I? Okay, let's pause for a moment of silence as we enter a brief time of quiet and reflection and meditation. I'll start the chime to begin. Not on here. Now we have a video of a song by Jim Scott, a prolific composer, singer, and guitarist who is also a Unitarian Universalist and has performed several times at MVUC. Jim wrote this song, We Are the Earth, in 2014 and performed it during the People's Climate March in New York City on September 21st, 2014, accompanied by percussionists from the Brooklyn Zen Center. He then put together this video from clips of the march taken on his iPhone. And there's sheet music.
We are the earth.
Yep.
We speak for creation. And we cannot stand by and watch its devastation. And we will not be bought. We will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth of threatened sky and waters. What legacy shall we leave to our sons and daughters? And we will not be bought. We will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth, and we will speak as one. We'll not surrender the great glaciers to the sun. And we will not be bought, we will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth of forest, soil, and ocean. We will stand in our defense and devotion. And we will not be bought, we will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth, wounded but unbroken. We will rise when to power truth is spoken. And we will not be bought, we will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth, both holy and profane. Despite denials, this fragile planet we must sustain. And we will not be bought, we will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are the earth, diverse and yet united. We will keep on until the wrongs are righted. And we will not be bought, we will not be deceived. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are one, we are strong, we are the earth. We are more than just dwellers on this earth. We are the earth.
Church, which is important to so many of us. We gratefully dedicate this offering to the good of the church, the wider community, and the world. If you make automatic pledge payments, please place one of the yellow cards indicating this support in the basket. If you want today's contribution to count toward your annual pledge, please put it in an envelope with your name on the front so that we know who to credit it to. Thank you. All right, now please join us in singing hymn number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
It's a great hymn.
Yeah, great hymn.
And I do believe it plays through one time completely before we start singing. Oh, no, I guess it was just an intro, sorry. For our closing words today, we will have Wendell Berry reading one of my favorite poems on YouTube.
the peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
Please join me in reading the words provided as we extinguish the chalice. As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain within us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Go in peace with the light of this gathering to illuminate your way. Before the music, which will close our service, we have time for a few brief announcements. Come to the podium if you have one to make.
Hi, I'm Lynn Israel, and you may see on your seat a voting ballot for the carpet samples. So take a look. We hope to have a decision made in the next week or two as to which carpet tiles we're going to be putting in the sanctuary. So there are the samples that we've kind of narrowed it down to. Please indicate your top 3 favorites and give them to me or just leave them over there somewhere.
Hi, I'm Colleen. Just a last reminder that fellowship is meeting today, and if you're interested in checking out the committee, we'll be in the social hall and you can find me after the service.
Hi, everyone. I have 2 announcements. I'm Megan, by the way. So our pledge drive technically ended last Sunday. However, I mean, does it ever really end? And this is very typical for a pledge drive, but we did unfortunately fall short of our goal. And so, first of all, thank you to those of you who pledged already. We do deeply appreciate it. And Lynn and Steve Israel brought a beautiful tree sculpture and placed it in the social hall. And we have written the names of every person who has pledged on one of the leaves of this beautiful tree. So again, thank you to those of you who have pledged. If you haven't had a chance yet, or if you just keep forgetting, we do have this cute pledge box that we would love for you to put your pledge form. We have hard copies of the pledge form right here at the greeting table. So we invite you to pledge and thank you in advance. My next announcement is just don't forget that April 26th is a big day here at MVUUC. We're going to be having a blood drive, which is always, it always requires a lot of volunteers. So I know Lisa would greatly appreciate your contributions of time, of food, and of blood, and or of blood, right? Because not everybody can donate, but we would love your help. But that same day, in the RE room, we will be live streaming the Building Beloved Community Beyond the Binary Conference, BBCBB. And that is being held in Syracuse, New York, but they're live streaming it to member or to UU congregations all across the country, and we're going to be one of those satellite locations. So all day, we will be live streaming workshops. The keynote is at 1:30, and we invite everybody to attend when you are not involved at the blood drive. So there's lots of opportunity to get involved there. We do ask, though, that you register if you are attending any events of the conference, just so that we know who to expect and how many to expect. You'll be welcome to eat the food at the potluck too, or at the blood drive, which is why we need extra food. So it's all part and parcel of our ecosystem here. So if you have questions, let me know, but the information about this conference is in the newsletter, so please check that out. I think that's everything for me. Thank you.
I'm just going to interject real quick. If you're a member of the membership committee or the finance committee and you would like to help follow up with a few people about the pledge campaign, please come see me after.
Steve Israel, I don't know if you've been paying any attention to the news lately, but we're going to have a new neighbor, an $800 million data center, which fortunately is up the road a piece. Yes. Yeah, would you like to come up here and do this? This is what married life is like after the 40-some years. Yeah, it's located at the southeast corner of 25 and 582, right, dear? Okay, good. I don't know how much you know about data centers, but I am prepared to fill you in. Right after the service, if you'd like, I made copies of a rather lengthy article from The Blade, and I also have a 6-minute video I can show you that answers the question, what are data centers? So we'll look at that right after the service, if you're interested. Yes? Data center is going to, it's for Facebook or Meta, right? It's owned by Meta, which is the Facebook, that's the corporate name that they control Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and a few other things as well. The good news is that, from what I can tell, they seem to be good stewards of the community. They're already working hand in hand with the Middleton Township trustees. Everybody's just happy right now. I hope that continues. So I spoke to the Middleton Township trustees, and they said, if you want a good view of what's going on, come park in the Middleton Township parking lot, which is just up the road a bit. Park your car and get out, and because the main entrance for the data center is going to be right across the street from the Middleton Township offices. So that's just I haven't done that myself, but that sounds like fun. So, okay, all right. Anything else, dear? Is that okay?
Okay. After our closing music, we invite everyone in person to stay for coffee hour. Thank you for joining us. And now, to end our service, bask in this beautiful rendition of Blue Boat Home, sung by Amy Broadbent and accompanied by piano by James Levy. Not Bree, although Bree is great stuff.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my drive and hard
Oh, it's not on.
Sets the branches with the sound of violins and rustles of percussion as the orchestra begins. The sun ascends its platform.